We're going to begin by looking at the terms test, measurement, and evaluation. We will take a closer look at those three terms. Defining this term, the term test is an instrument or systematic procedure for measuring a sample of behavior. It answers the question, how well does the individual perform when compared to others, or in comparison with a domain of performance task? With others, it would be a norm-referenced approach, and with the performance task, it would be a criterion-referenced approach, which we will talk much more about throughout the course. The term measurement is the process of obtaining a numerical description of the degree to which an individual possesses a particular characteristic. The important word there is numerical or number measurement. This answers the question, how much? The third term is the more all-inclusive term evaluation, sometimes known as assessment. It is the systematic process of collecting, analyzing, and interpreting the information to determine the extent which pupils are achieving instructional objectives. This answers the question, how good? All right, now if we want to see if you can distinguish among the terms test, measurement, or evaluation. I have some scenarios here, and you are to identify which one or two, or maybe perhaps three that would best describe them. So the first one, a teacher observes the number of times a student is out of his seat during a 1-hour period. Would this be a test, measurement, or evaluation? If we say measurement, then we're correct. The number of times the student is out of his seat is a measurement. The next one, a teacher asks a student to identify the green circles in a picture. This would be a test. Not extremely difficult unless you are colorblind to identify the green circles. A teacher assigns a student to the Bluebird reading group. In this case, there is some form of evaluation or measurement where you have to make a subjective judgment, and you did use evaluation. Then, the class is administered the Otis Lennon Quick Scoring Intelligence Test, and assignments are made on the basis of these scores. Now, this one actually has all three items here. The test is the Otis Lennon, the measurement is these scores, and of course the assignments are made, so that would be the evaluation. The next one, the teacher marks pass on a child's report card. This would be evaluation. Then a child is asked to run the 50-yard dash and his time is recorded. This would involve a test and measurement. Running a 50-yard dash is certainly a test for many of us. A teacher asks a child to read a paragraph from a book and records the number of mispronounced words. This would be both a test and a measurement. It does not reach the level of an evaluation as to making an assignment to a group, but it is certainly a test and a measurement. Now we want to look at types of evaluation and their uses in the classroom. We have 4 of these. The first is placement. Placement evaluation determines prerequisite skills, degree of mastery of course objectives, and/or the best mode of learning. You may be in a situation where you already know the material. You shouldn't even be placed in that setting. Or there's a situation where you do not even understand the language. You have to be placed elsewhere to get up to speed to be able to be placed in that class. The next term is formative. Formative evaluation determines the learning progress, provides feedback to reinforce learning, and corrects learning errors. Then we have diagnostic evaluation. Diagnostic evaluation determines causes, such as intellectual, physical, emotional, or environmental, of persistent learning difficulties. Then our final type of evaluation is summative. Summative evaluation determines end-of-course achievement for assigning grades or certifying the mastery of objectives. This kind of goes in conjunction with the formative assessment. I like to liken these two to an airline pilot, how that person follows a flight plan, but makes constant adjustments while in flight in a more formative process. Whereas summative would be the end of the destination. In the classroom, we do this by asking questions, making sure the students are with us to give quizzes. Whereas summative, we would wrap things up and make sure they have met the objective of the course. Hopefully these terms, test, measurement, evaluation, and the types of evaluation have been helpful to you.